Hello students, how are you all? So welcome to the lecture that is part third of the projectile motion. So today we are going to discuss the next part, that is horizontal projectile. In the last part we have discussed some important cases that was related with the angular projection. Okay, that is angular projectile, and we have seen that how the question can be asked in the three different ways from a projectile. So if you remember the basic concept, the basic formulas, the numericals are really easier for you. Right now, the term horizontal projectile. So let's say we have a building. Okay, so let's say it is a building which is of a height. Let's say this is the height of a small h. Okay, and a ball is thrown. A ball is just thrown at some velocity, that is a small u, okay, and that is completely horizontal. You can see that it is not making any kind of angle. No angle it is making with the horizontal line. That's why this type of projection, this type of projectile is known as the horizontal projectile. Alright, now what you will see, as you will project the ball horizontally, so what happens, the ball tries to start falling, and with falling it again takes a path and it reaches the ground at some point. Okay, so you can again prove that this path is not a circular but it is a kind of again a parabolic path. Alright, so here also we will use the same concept to determine the ranges. You can see the maximum height also and the time of flight also. Alright, now since it is a two-dimensional motion, we will again take the x-axis separately and the y-axis separately. Alright, so first I will take the y-axis to calculate some of the terms. Alright, so what you can see in the initial, at the initial point of projection, what we can see, the velocity in the y-axis, the initial velocity is 0 meter per second. Okay, since it is projected only in the horizontal direction, it will not have any kind of initial velocity in the y-axis. Okay, but as it has started falling, its velocity will now increase because of the effect of the gravity. That is the acceleration due to gravity, which is continuously acting in this projectile also. Alright, so let us use the first formula, that is s equal to ut plus half at square. Okay, so we want to calculate a time, at what time the ball will reach on this ground by covering the height of a small h. Okay, so the s is represented by the h. Initial velocity, you know, in the y-axis it is 0, so that's why I put it 0. Then g is acting in the downward direction, then minus half g t square, and h is also the h, the body is covering, is also in the downward direction. That's why we will use the minus sign also. Okay, so you can also take both of them positive. Okay, both of them positive because displacement is also downward and g is also acting downward. But if you want to take the reference line, as I told you what is the reference line, from where we initiate our assumption or our motion, that is known as the reference line. Alright, so I have taken my reference line here, so that's why if the body is going down, I have taken negative sign and also the g, that is of the negative side. Alright, and you can also take both with the positive. Alright, so this minus and minus will cancel out and we will get t square is equal to 2h upon g, which is given to the time, which is equal to under root 2h upon g. Okay, so what we are seeing here, a very important conclusion, that the time, the t is a time of flight, and in this case you will not do 2 times of t. Why? Because there is only a one side motion, that body is going from top side, body is coming from top side to the bottom side. Okay, do not try to make it 2 times as the earlier, because that was in the case of angular projection. Okay, so here what the conclusion we are seeing, that the time is depending on the under root of 2h upon g. That is, time is only depending on what? That is the root of h and root of g. Okay, that means there is no term that is related with the horizontal projectile velocity, that is a u. So it is independent of the u. So what we can conclude from here, that if you are throwing or you are projecting two bodies horizontally, okay, horizontally, that can be of different velocity, that can be either u and the other body velocity can be 2u. Okay, it do not matters now, because the time it will take to come at the ground is independent of the initial velocity, that is the horizontal projection velocity. Okay, so it will take, both the body will take same time to come at the ground. Okay, so that is the important conclusion we are getting from here, right? Now let's calculate the other thing what we have. Okay, so we have calculated time. Now let us calculate. There is a term that is again range. So what is our range? That is a horizontal distance covered by the projectile. Okay, so now you know the time. What is time? Time is given by 2h upon g and under root. Okay, now if I calculate the range, you know the horizontal velocity is that we have taken 2. So x is the range which is equal to what? Velocity into time. So what is the velocity in horizontal direction? That is u. And what is the time? Which is 2h upon g. So this time the range is given by u into under 2h upon g. Okay, so this is the formula for the range. Now again what we can conclude from this relation, that x is depending on h also, on g also, but this time your x is depending, that is the range depending on the initial on the velocity of the projection. Okay, so the time that we have calculated, it was independent. Okay, it was independent of the initial velocity, that is u. But if we are talking about range, it is the x which is range. Range is depending on the u. That means if we are throwing the two bodies at different velocities, okay, if you are throwing the two bodies at different velocities, what will happen? Their ranges will be different, and which one will be the more range? That the body will having a more velocity. So let's say I am again throwing another body with 2 into u times, so its range will be more as compared to the range of the body that is thrown with the u. So range is depending, but time is not depending. That you have to keep in the mind. Alright, so these were the two important things that we have to calculate in the horizontal projectile. Now one more thing that I haven't mentioned, but again you can see it is a projectile, so there is only acting a downward gravity, that is the only acceleration that is acting in this body. Okay, there is no any horizontal acceleration that is acting in this case. Okay, now the third thing that is left, that how to calculate a velocity at a particular time. Okay. Okay, but let us first prove that this equation is following the projectile motion or not, that is a parabolic motion or not. Okay, so you know that we have calculated at any time t. If I say at any time t, let's say the displacement of the body is y. Okay, and you know for the y axis the initial velocity was the 0. So I will only use the formula that is half gt square. Half gt square. Okay, now let us put this t, that is the small t, in terms of x. Okay, in terms of x, so I am going to put the value of this x. You know what we can write here? We can write it as x is equal to what? U is the horizontal component of velocity and this is the time. So what we can write time as x by 2. So just put the same time over here. So you will get y is equal to half g into t square, that is x square upon u square. Okay. So what the conclusion we are getting, that if you take the half g u square in a single term, so you can say y is proportional to the x square. Y is proportional to the x square. So again what you are getting, a kind of quadratic relation between the y and the x, and that's why you can say this is a kind of motion. You can say this is a kind of again a parabolic motion followed by the horizontal projection. Alright. Now Now let's calculate the velocity at any time t. So let's say I want to calculate the velocity at this point. Okay, at this point I want to calculate the velocity. Okay, let's say it is the instant time t. Okay, so what will happen? There will be one velocity that will be v y, and there will be one velocity that is v, let's say vx. Okay, and what is the exact velocity line that it will follow? Again, draw the tangent. As I told you, again draw the tangent on this curve. So this is what that is giving us the net velocity or the exact velocity which is resultant of both of them. Alright, so first we will calculate the Vy. Okay, that is a Vy, that is velocity of this projectile at this instant. So you know which equation we use, that is Vy is equal to u by that will be plus gt. Okay, so as you know the body is going downside, velocity is downside and acceleration is also downside. That's why I am taking the positive side for the both. Okay, now the initial velocity is 0, that we already know on y-axis. So this will become 0 and we get Vy is equal to g into t. Okay, so this is the component of y velocity on the y-axis at the given time t. Okay, now if I write what is our Vx, that is our horizontal velocity. So you know there is no any acceleration that is acting in the horizontal side. Okay, there is no acceleration, so that's why you can say the Vx is equal to, that is u. Vx is again equal to u. Okay, so if I want to write the exact velocity, that is the resultant velocity, you can write it in the terms of vectors, but again calculate the magnitude. So first write in the form of vector. So this is v at the time t given by vx I cap plus vy j. So this will be written as u I cap plus gt j. Okay, so this is what that is the velocity vector for the given time at the instant of t. Okay, if you want to calculate the modulus of it, you will simply write under root of u square plus gt whole square. So that will be the velocity at any particular time t. Okay, now there can be also be asked that what is the angle? What is the angle that it is making while coming down at the same instant of time? That is at the same time, what is the angle that is formed by this body? Okay, so again what we will do, you can calculate the angle either with the vertical axis also or the horizontal also. Okay, but you have to mention that with what reference you are taking that angle. So let's say I am taking the angle from the horizontal. Okay, I am taking the angle from the horizontal. So again draw the triangle diagram to make it easier. So to make it easier, what we will do, this is Vx. Okay, this is our V. And let's bring this Vy over here. This will make, that is Vy. Okay, and this is our theta. Alright, now if I just revert this triangle, it will appear like what? This is Vy, this is Vx, and this is theta. Okay, so simply you can use again that is the tan theta. Tan theta will be what? That is the Vy. What is Vy? Gt upon this is Vx, that is u. So theta is what? Tan inverse Gt upon u. That will be the angle formed by the projectile at the given instant, that is small t. Okay, and you will mention also that we have taken it from the horizon. Okay, so these were the important concept that was regarding the horizontal projectile. Alright, I hope this is all clear to you, and we will do some more numericals on the next time. Okay, so thank you all, and keep revising the angular projection